Thank you for staying with us on the conversation. At this moment, we'll be looking at Nigeria's increasing poverty index. In a recent report by the World Bank, the report indicated that about 75% of Nigerians living in rural areas are living below poverty line. Another report from this world institution also says that if care is not taken by the year 2027, more Nigerians are likely to become poor. And some of these figures, when you marry them together with the reports, they're quite scary. But then the government of the day will tell you that different kind of reforms have been introduced to put the economy of Nigeria on the right path. But the figures are not adding together. Fine, the GDP is increasing, and the government will tell you that we are doing everything humanly possible to make Nigeria great again. But then the purchasing power of Nigerians is nothing to write home about. So this morning, we'll be looking at those factors that are responsible for Nigeria's increasing poverty index. We have with us in the studio Lukman Owolabi. Lukman Owolabi is a development analyst. It's our pleasure to have you.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
I love the fact that you said the pleasure is yours. Government is reforming. The World Bank released about 2 reports now indicating that the level of poverty in Nigeria is quite alarming. How do we marry the two together to make something realistic out of it?
Well, I don't think there's we don't need the World Bank, to tell us that
All is not well.
Poverty level is rising, and it was all our doing. You see, poverty in Nigeria is multidimensional. The causes are the effects, and the effects are the causes.
How?
Okay. When you look at lack of education, opportunities for basic education in Nigeria, we don't have it. Many, particularly in the northern part, where, some other things are preferred, to basic Western education. And if you are not exposed to education at that level, that means you'll grow up without the basic education, without ability for inventiveness, without opportunities for innovation, without opportunities for clarity of thought, without being able to rationalize things around you. So most of the time, many of these people are caught in a concentric circle of poverty. So the poverty is an effect of lack of education. And education itself is also an effect of poverty. That is, the lack of education is also an effect of poverty. So that's why I said the cause is the effect is also the cause. And when you look at the whole gamut of what we have, because it starts from education, we concentrated everything on oil, natural resource. And this problem started in the early 70s, when we depended mostly on oil. Before then, Nigeria's income was coming, external income was coming from agriculture. Agriculture was the mainstay of the economy. And it was a productive economy, because everybody was working. Even if many people did not have basic education, they had basic skills. There was vocational education. So many people were learning what we call handwork. Even those in the farms were useful. So when you find yourself useful, there's no way you can be poor.
Useful and productive.
There's no way you can be poor. But in our case, it's a denial of opportunities and chances and choices. So many people are stuck in that cocoon that they cannot even afford basic necessities of life, because of the concentric circle of poverty. There are so many causes, some institutional. When we look at the effect of corruption too, some things, when a government is supposed to spend 20 billion on something and they end up spending 10 billion, Meanwhile, the other part of 10 billion is misappropriated. And when you have money that is misappropriated, you cannot spend it judiciously. So those will also affect. So instead of having money spent on public facilities, education, health, infrastructure, and all those things, because those are the things that promote productivity. And if you don't have them, if you are not spending on them, the effect is what we are seeing. And we have also lived a life of subsidy. And that affected us. That's why I said the problem is from the early 70s, when we believed that, we had petrodollars to spend. And then the value of naira to the dollar was about 0.76 naira. 0.76 naira to a dollar. So why would you need to be productive when a government can wake up one day and say, I'm going to give you what they call the Udoji Awards? They gave the Udoji Awards for 2 years, salary of civil servants for 2 years, along with all the perks that comes with it, for 2 years. So people had a lot of money with them, and they were thinking, what do we do with all this money? Everybody started spending recklessly, buying everything, and it was cheaper for them to buy from abroad. So why would you need to produce when you can buy cheaply from abroad?
Okay,
it became a problem.
Aside from the poverty of education now and some of the policies that we have gotten wrong over the years, food is essential.
Oh, yes.
And as we speak today in Nigeria, people can hardly feed decently, so to say, except those that are privileged like you.
I hear you. I'm also facing it. I used to eat better than this. I used to be bigger than this. Now I have to portion my meal.
Maybe you are watching your weight.
Now I have to portion my meal.
To buy food now, it is difficult.
Yeah, it's also the effect of what we're saying. We became an unproductive nation. Agriculture was our mainstay. We abandoned agriculture because we had petrodollars. And the economy was not diversified enough, to stimulate the economy. So that's why I said, I like what is going on now.
You like it?
Oh, yes. People will think. The removal of subsidy will make us think. Because we have always lived a life of subsidy. The money that we were supposed to spend on productivity, we were spending it on subsidy. We are acquiring loans to subsidize petroleum products. So it became a waste, as far as I'm concerned. At a point, we were spending about 5 trillion naira. 5 trillion naira, we have not spent 5 trillion naira on infrastructure in this country. Yet we are spending 5 trillion naira to subsidize petrol. Most of it was taken out of this country. Because we left room for arbitrage. If you buy a tanker of petrol, 33,000 liters, let's say for 200 naira per liter, the same item is being sold outside your country, by a neighboring country, for 500 naira per liter. So why would you want to sell to your citizens for 210 naira per liter
when you
can sell it for 450 and make more money? So it left room for arbitrage. So people were smuggling. That's why you see that the consumption was going up every time. And many people were questioning that we don't consume this much in Nigeria. So how come consumption was going on? So there had to be someone that would put a stop to it. It happened in 2016, but when the subsidy was removed, that was when the price went up to 145 naira per liter. But when other things happened, they couldn't, President Barrett could not sustain it. And he said, look, I don't want my people to suffer. But we are not suffering for it because he acquired so much loan just to sustain it. So when you acquire so much
life.
Yeah, it was a fake life. We were living a fake life, basically. So the proceeds should have been invested and reinvested into productivity. It was doing such a wonderful job then, all these, what they call that, farming loan that was given to
Uncle's Borrower
program. Yeah, Uncle Borrower's program and the other. That was the way to go. It was doing all that. But then, this subsidy messed him up.
Okay, so let's come back to the reality of today now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one in charge now, and he promised to renew the hope of Nigerians. So some of his policies now, subsidy has gone, and then we have new tax law in place.
Yes.
Are they really going to put Nigerians out of this poverty bracket? Because we have seen different statistics and figures being quoted by government indicating that the economy is on the right path. But for an average Nigerian, they are not able to feed. Their purchasing power is no longer there. So how do you connect the two together to make sense for Nigerians to really believe in this government?
Yeah, the thing is, we're between the devil and the deep blue sea. So where do you go? It's either we continue with the subsidy,
which is fake,
or we put a stop to it. And it's like someone having malaria. So if you say you are not going to take any bitter pill, so will you allow the malaria to fester, which could lead to some other unintended consequences, or you take the bitter pill, put a stop to it, and get well better later? That's exactly where we are. That's the stage where we are now. So what we are doing now is there is no way we are not going to feel what is going on now. There will be poverty, there will be hunger, there will be everything, but we have to lay the foundation. If we don't lay the foundation, there's no way we can build on it. So at a point you have to put a stop to it. The best time to do it was yesterday. The next best time is now. So this is what we are going through. And we will go through it. There is no magic wand that anybody can wave.
In 2 or 4 years?
There is no magic wand. We have to go through this process. It's a rebuilding process. If you had your foundation, you build a house in Bagada, and we know some marshy areas in Bagada. I know so many people that built their houses in Bagada. They didn't do rafting and all those things that they do. By the time the houses, beautiful houses. So when the houses began to sink, some were bending like this. And I know many people that had to break the houses.
Because the foundation was faulty.
The foundation was faulty. So they had to go back and do the rafting and build all over again. Exactly the same thing that we are doing now. So I will implore our people, it is a very bitter pill to take. But we are going to go through it. So we also need to give the government of the day, the cooperation that is required. And we have to put them on their toes to do what is right. All those corruption that we notice within government, we have to keep shouting and making the shout very loud, that they should also, relax. Let us see that, they also live what they preach. That is what we should be doing now. But as far as going back to where we're coming from, no, we have left Egypt. We cannot go back there. We are looking at the promised land, which is Canaan in front. And that's where we are headed. There is no magic, there is no miracle that can take us out of where we are going. And it's already stabilizing. So we need to put structures on it that will encourage growth and productivity.
But then, how will government convince Nigerians to show some cooperation with this government? Because the living standard of Nigerians is contrary to those of our leaders. We kept tightening our belts.
Yeah.
But their own belt is not tightened.
I just made reference to that now, that we need to take them on.
And when people cannot feed, It's a disaster.
Oh yes, oh yes. It's a precarious
And it's a
situation.
recipe for insecurity.
It's a recipe for disaster, really. But there is no other way. If you decide to go the other way, it can only make our situation worse. So we have to steady the ship. This is the way to go. We have to produce. We have to keep growing wealth. If you don't grow wealth, there's no way you can do anything really. If you don't grow wealth, I mean, all those people who are hampered by lack of opportunities. When opportunities come, they're the ones that will take it. You see, there is inflation everywhere, all over the world. But the difference in Nigeria is that we lack opportunities for employment. In America, for instance, I mean, people shout every day that things are going up, but you can still find work to do to make up for whatever. You are losing income, but you can still you find something to do. You can be productive. That is what we lack here. There are not many opportunities.
And over there, they also have social intervention programs.
They have all those. We have here too, but they are not well structured. We need to up our, social infrastructure system and the rest of it, so that the poorest of the poorest can get some things from government, something to keep them going. But I mean, we go back to the issue of corruption. Those that are supposed to be in charge of those kind of programs, they will misappropriate about 50% of it. So we not get to where it should go.
So I'm glad that you just
Nigeria,
this, Mr. Olabi.
we are the problem.
This cash transfer initiative of this government, 25,000 naira to an household, looking at the inflation rate and the cost of item, does it make any sense?
Oh, it makes sense.
25,000?
Oh, some people can set up a business for 20,000 naira. 20,000 naira, some people can set up a business. You won't believe it. I remember sometime I gave someone about 5,000 naira, maybe about 7-8 years ago. From that 5,000 naira, that the person began to sell pure water. The person now has a shop and selling provisions today.
But the value of 5,000 naira then is not the value of 5,000 naira today.
It doesn't matter. All you need to do is set up something, keep at it, be productive, and be focused. Many people are not focused. When I do my morning workout, I meet one guy, by Maryland bus stop. Able-bodied guys. What do? They will sit by the bus stop there, and he greets me every morning. One day I just called him. I said, "Why are you sitting here every morning?" No, it's true. It's not that you are crippled. You are able-bodied. You are rational. So why should you be sitting here every day waiting for cars to clean their windscreen and all those? And they'll be chasing you away. I said, in front of my house, there is a signpost there for car wash. They wash cars for 1,000 naira there. Your own, if you decide to go there, you will take 400 naira. The owner takes 600 naira. If you
So by the time you wash like 4 or 10.
10 cars a day, you know what you can, and from there you can get many other opportunities. But he prefers to stay at the bus stop. I've accosted him about 3 or 4 times now, and he's still there. I still saw him this morning. So you know that we are also our own problem.
Aside from what government is doing.
Aside from what government is doing. So the part of laziness is also there. Easy money. Some people that are artisans have left their job and are now riding Okada.
Yeah, because the power is poor.
It's not the power. What do you need power for when you're a mechanic?
What of a welder? A welder will need power.
Everybody is not a welder. But the point is, There are so many other things you can do that do not require power.
Sure.
You can be a carpenter. You can be an auto electrician, what they call rewire. They make a lot of money. Learn something. That was what we used to do in Lagos, at least, that I know of. You see so many artisans. Now we have to import artisans from Togo and Republic of Benin.
Okay, now that the federal government seems to be focusing more on making technical education free, what impact is that going to have as regards this increasing rate of poverty in the country?
Yeah, you see, regardless of the nature of the poverty that we have now, we need to start from somewhere. So we are now building the blocks, foundation blocks. So when they do that and they are encouraged, they will expand. So many other people will go into it and focus on agriculture. I'm happy now that so many states are doing so well in agriculture. And then we have to tackle insecurity, because insecurity is also an effect of poverty. Poverty is also an effect of insecurity. So it's multidimensional. Everything goes together. So if we solve one, you see that the other one will dissipate. So that's what we should be doing. Little by little, we'll inch up. If we don't start, we can't finish. That is what I always say. When a short man begins to cast a long shadow, you should know that the sun is about to set. And wisdom has a limit. It is stupidity that has none. So we need to continue to do all these things, little by little, one block at a time, one street at a time, one sector at a time. The only thing is we should maintain focus. We shouldn't wait. And don't, all the noise coming from us, just be focused and continue to do your work.
Okay, most times we always focus on the federal government. We have state, we have local government, and they are getting so much in terms of allocation now, yet people can barely feel their impact.
Yeah, they won't feel the impact, and because they are not used to being taken to task. Everybody focuses on the federal government, because we are coming from a military background, that everything was centralized. So it's still the same mentality we have, that it's the federal government that does everything. Meanwhile, federal government does not have any land everywhere. So it is those in the states that will still go into this agriculture. The only thing federal government can do is to provide the direction and say this is the way you should go. And they can't even force anybody to do it. You can remember during the Ruga years, when the state said they are not interested. So if the state is not interested, is it the federal government that will now grow plants, that will now grow crops? They can't, because it's not their forte. Even primary education is supposed to be the work of the local government.
Local government, yeah.
Ahead, the local government. And secondary education, the state and the federal government. Because that one is in a concurrent list of the Constitution. So that's the way it should go. Many people should understand this and know that the bulk of development comes from the local government and the states, and not the federal government. The federal government is only there to give direction. And we should go back to our states. We should.
Which is what Mr. President had equally said at different fora. That your governors are getting so much money now.
So it will say it anytime.
The level of poverty kept increasing.
I've even heard people say, why don't you stop giving them? I said, okay, you don't even know what it means when the federal government gives allocation to states. It is statutory. They can't change it. So we should concentrate on our states and local government. Let us take them to task. Many people too that complain outside of the sphere, the political sphere, should also go into governance, because it's easier to influence things from inside than from the outside. So don't let us leave it for, so many people that we call, idiots, to continue to rule us. Let us also go there. Go and influence things from there. I know it's not easy, but that's the only way to go. A man remains wise as long as he seeks wisdom. It is the moment he thinks he has found it that he becomes a fool.
So for the state and local governments, what should they start doing now in the short term and long term to at least assist the federal government in reducing this level of poverty in their states?
What do we say to the state governors unless they are taken to task by their citizens? So the citizens, we know what we do in Lagos State.
And the assemblies are not even helping matters.
Oh, yes.
They are more or less the lapdog of the executive.
In
most states.
Because it's still the same recruitment process. When it is the powerful state governor that will now dictate that this and this and this and this are these are those that will, because we have a system whereby you can only gain political office through the political parties. So, and some people are, gurus within the political setup. So if we also have a way whereby we can have independent candidacy, it can also help. Because they will know, the political parties will now realize that this guy as an independent candidate can also make inroads here. So we should also be looking, along that line. And it's the same way. We need to make things easy for ourselves. We don't have to struggle. When you look at, sometimes when I see there's so many people, last mile officials and police that are BRT monitoring and the rest of it, just to monitor people that are passing the BRT lane. I just sit back and wonder, why can't we just put spike there with the remote control?
Nobody will there.
Nobody will there. You don't need to start chasing people away. So by the time you do that, you'll discover that you don't even need so many people around. BRT monitoring, you just change it to something else. You repaint the pickup from BRT monitoring to what do they call it? Cleaning of the streets or Kai or something. You don't need that. Just put spike and let somebody be somewhere. Just remote control. Or you put the signals on the BRT buses so that by the time they are getting close to that place, the spike will go down. It's the same thing. Is it not the same thing with the Lekki toll gate back in the day? Just a sticker that we put on the. By the time we are moving close, the gate will open for us to pass. It's the same thing. So we don't have to belabor ourselves for so many things.
I do agree with you, obviously, that the reality on ground is for us to suffer now, bear with government, because we have been very prodigal for years. Then, in the interim, what should this government do? Because Nigerians are crying and the poverty out there is just too much. So what should this government do? Democracy, like we all know, is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So what should the federal government, state and local government do as fast as possible to at least address some of these conditions?
I think they should just fine-tune the social security system and ensure compliance when it comes to implementation. Because so many households, if they can get the cash transfer, to many of the households, it will ameliorate their suffering. And then, in terms of infrastructure, particularly transport infrastructure, from the farms to the cities, let us make all the roads passable. And then, because that would lessen the burden of paying so much for transportation. If they can even provide buses, provide transportation for the farmers to bring their goods to the city or buy the produce from them, it will also go a long way in encouraging them to farm more. Because if there are commodity boards, for instance, whereby you plant your cocoa and then the government puts a price on it and they buy it off you and the government does whatever they like, with the produce, that will go a long way in helping the farmers. And then the question of insecurity, we should really step up effort in taming, the rascality that is going on in so many of the states, because that is also hindering, productivity of agriculture along that line. So I'm sure that when they notice the sincerity of government, many people will understand. We also need national orientation. We need people who will lay the cards on the table and tell us, look,
the truth.
The truth. This is the way it is going. This is why we are doing this. If we don't do this, this is what will happen. So we have to steady the course. We have to stay focused. That is the only way to go. And they want to see you also reflect that. So not that you'll be wasting so much money and then you'll be telling people to tighten their belts. They also put those in government who have to wake up and show example. They must be exemplary. People should see them that they're also trying to cut costs and they are living what they say. That is the only way we can go.
Okay, I know that it's not every Nigerian that is within the minimum wage brackets. Labour is now complaining that the minimum wage is no longer minimum. It can barely make a family or two or three or four survive. So what should government do in this direction? Because when your workers are not properly paid or adequately paid, you're encouraging them to embrace corruption.
Yeah, it still boils down to expanding the scope of productivity. When we expand it and we create wealth, if we don't build wealth, if we don't create wealth, there's really nothing we can do. If we don't, build infrastructure, I love what is going on regarding, infrastructure facilities in Nigeria now. I see a government that's very bold, that can take bold steps when it comes to infrastructure. We must be deliberate about that. When we have all those, I don't want to say I saw some things in the US and all that, but the thing is, when you have that kind of infrastructure, my friend took me. I went to see my friend, from Philadelphia to Maryland. And I was supposed to take a bus back from Maryland to Philadelphia because that was the way I went there. By the time I got there, the bus was not available. They said they were shifting it because they didn't have so many people to carry. So instead of going from 12:50, they said it will have to be in the night. I said, I can't wait till the night. My friend took it upon himself and drove me from Maryland to Philadelphia for over 2 hours. If he has to
without fears,
not only about the fares, it's about the roads.
The quality of the road.
The quality of the road infrastructure. If you decide on taking me from that distance
in Nigeria,
he's going to spend the whole day. He's going to spend the whole day.
Because and he
wouldn't even dare. My friend came from the US, is staying in Chevron. And he told me he's in Chevron. I live in Anthony Village. I said, that place we are living is far. And it's not because of the distance.
It's because of the infrastructure.
Because of what I'm going to face on the road. Just to go and see him. So that is, in the US, for instance, that's what we call a resekpa. Because he will go there in 30 minutes and return in 30 minutes. But you can't make that journey in 30 minutes here. You probably will, say, okay, maybe between 3 and 4 hours for you to make that journey. So those are the things that are hindering us. It is what is fueling the multidimensional poverty in Nigeria. Some kind of, what do we call it? Some little things that we should be doing. Basic things like, a businessman brings his container and wants to drop it in his shop, and some area boys will come and say you have to pay 200, 300,000 naira before you offload. So how does that encourage the business person? So all those little things that, there should be, maybe even if it's a task force for that. Why should I want to drop my container or offload my stuff in my warehouse and some people will come from nowhere that don't know how I got it?
The good boys.
So all those little things, impunity, they're costing us a lot. They are costing us business opportunities. They are costing us growth and development, productivity. And we don't realize it. I talked about, that BRT lane stuff, for instance. Why should you put 20 people on a BRT lane to be watching people who will come? And military men will go there. You can't stop them. Policemen will pass there. You can't stop them. Even Danfos will also want to try. But to curb all that, just put spike. and let somebody
will
hold
sit
the remote.
up.
Nobody will tell you. Nobody will tell you. The general of the army will not pass there.
Okay, part of the complaints
Simple
of
things.
Nigerians is also the fact that this government promised us adequate numbers of CNG buses. For me, I haven't seen any.
Oh, I have seen.
Notable numbers,
Oh, no,
and
well,
that is making impact.
See,
2 years down the line.
there will always be teething problems. We have been on this CNG matter for a long time, and if we don't get it right, it will still continue to be like that. I mean, it is individuals. It's not all those things that are driven by government are supposed to be driven by individuals. That's a mistake we make. Government cannot run all these businesses, so they can only provide
The right
the enabling
environment.
environment for you to do it. I mean, was it government that said Dangote should go and bring 4,000 trucks
CNG
now,
buses.
CNG trucks? It's not government that said so. Just create the enabling environment and give them support for businessmen
Waivers.
to do what they know how to do best. 4,000 trucks, CNG trucks. I've seen them on the road. They are not moi moi as we used to say. It's not moi moi. It's a lot, and it can go a long way. Even in Unilag now, they have electric buses that will take
Campus
you
shuttle.
from bus shuttle that will take you from the main gate to the main campus for 100 naira. Cute electric buses, and they are working very well. So little by little, we'll continue to inch our way into it. There's no magic. We have to we have to stay the course. We have to remain focused, and there has to be, peace and serenity for us to achieve that.
All right, what a way to anchor our conversation this morning with Lukman Owolabi on Nigeria's increasing poverty index. And like he did say, Rome was not built in a day. We have to go through this path for us to progress as a nation, both on the part of government and the people. We all must be willing to sacrifice to put our economy on the right path. We thank you very much for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, we'll take another quick break now. When we come back, Adebimpe and Joy will be standing by to take you through their conversation. Stay with us.